As homeschoolers, we tend to do things with our own unique flair. That's why I'm calling this workshop Easy Not Back to Homeschool Traditions. My hope is that you are going to make the first day of your homeschool special in unique ways. If you're a homeschool mom who's worried your kids are behind, or that maybe you're not cut out for this, you've come to the right place. I'm Christy Gandera, homeschool mom, retired classroom teacher, and the queen bee here at Happy Hive Homeschooling. Around here, I help you see your homeschool with more clarity because success doesn't mean perfect lessons, finished checklists, or kids who are engaged all day long. We look for learning sparks, quiet the second guessing, and build a rhythm that feels doable. Homeschool mama, you don't need every day to go smoothly to know homeschooling is working. Welcome, friends. I'm Christy. You might know me by my homeschool teacher name, Mrs. Crabtree. That's right, my kids didn't call me mom when we homeschooled. Way back when Happy Hive Homeschool opened in 2006, I had one kindergartner and two preschoolers. Well, those bugs are all grown and navigating the adult world quite nicely, I might add. I get so excited for the first day of school. As soon as the stores start to put out their school supplies, I know that it's time to get ready. The first day of school holds so many memories from my childhood, from my years of teaching, and from my own homeschooling experience. When I was actively homeschooling my three children, we used a year round homeschool model. I told my children that every day was a school day, 365 days of year. So that included weekends, holidays, and I wanted them to have the mindset that everything was learning. So with that, we didn't take a summer break. We just kind of changed the things that we were doing, but our school days continued. So, even with this outlook, I worked hard to make sure that the first day of a new school year was special. And I want to share some ideas with you. Here are my six favorite not back to school ideas. Number one, the back to school fairy. If you've never had a visit from the back to school fairy, you're in for a treat. The back to school fairy is the Santa Claus of September. She makes sure all your school supplies needs are met, brings crayons, post-it notes, markers, you name it. The back to school fairy delivered these items magically overnight, and they were there on the table waiting when school started. But whatever day I had designated as the first day of school. As my kids got older, their need for school supplies kind of decreased. So the back to school fairy adjusted and adapted, and she would bring them their favorite snacks. No one needs a hungry high schooler, right? So my next idea isn't that it's not that unique, but you can make the first day of school special with a special breakfast. Now, use your family's definition of special. Is that going all out and cooking eggs, bacon, hash browns, the whole works? Or is it going out to eat? Because that's not something that you ordinarily do. Here in these pictures, my children are using a special cereal. You might be familiar with it. They got alphabets. In fact, the back to school fairy brought those for them to enjoy this particular first day of school. I recommend rotating what you do every few years, and that will keep that element of special. The back to school picture, first day, last day pictures. I have some ideas for you. I have to admit that I was not one of those moms that wanted to use the cute sign. Everyone was doing it. And no offense if you use the cute signs, actually, you're going to see my idea backfires. I thought I was so clever having my children hold up their fingers to show what grade they were in. You can see in the top picture there, I have a first grader, a second grader, and a third grader. Yeah, that idea worked until high school when they run out of fingers. So you can only go pretty much first grade through uh 10th grade, unless you're using sign language for the letter K, which is totally doable. But if I had to do this part of my first day of school over, I likely would switch to cute little signs. So I made some. I made what I would like to use, and I have these for you as a freebie. The link is going to be in the comments so that you can download it. In fact, there's first day of school signs and last day of school signs, and I have them by grade level. Like it says 12th grade or it says senior. There's a whole lot of different options for you, and there's color and black and white. That way, if you want the kids to decorate their own sign, they can do that. You're welcome. Now, my fourth idea for a special first day of homeschool is to use that first day for a field trip. Very, very rarely, in my experience as a classroom teacher, was any school or anything going on a field trip the first day of school. But as homeschoolers, we have the freedom to enjoy such an activity. So, in order to accommodate my husband's schedule, we made our change of grade day. That's what I called it, our first day of school. I called it the change of grade day because we were homeschooling year round. That would be the first day of their new grade level. So, in order to accommodate my husband's schedule, we used Labor Day as our first day of school because he always had that day off. And that way, we got to go on our field trip together as a family. Yes, it's a holiday and things were just a little bit more crowded, but that's okay. It was still worth it to us. Our field trips were to different places from year to year. We would do local nature centers. This picture shows the time that we drove to Sequoia National Park. We've done Disneyland. We took the kids fishing. There were zoos, museums. The options are endless, and the only limit is your budget and your imagination. Even going to the movies, your local movie theater is a wonderful field trip idea for the first day of school. No matter what year of your homeschooling journey you're in, I recommend start this year with an activity where you choose your homeschool teacher name. I introduced myself at the beginning as Mrs. Crabtree. That's the name my husband and children came up for me so that I could kind of delineate between my roles in their life. I couldn't see them calling me Mrs. Gandera. I was a teacher, a classroom teacher. So that was kind of weird to have my own children call me Mrs. Gandera. So we came up with a special name, kind of my alter ego, like a superhero would have. So in the very beginning of our homeschool journal, the kids would be gathered at the table. We finished breakfast and we were working on, just like our morning activities, the book basket, trivia questions, a few math activities, things like that. I would tell the kids, okay, you guys, I'm going to go now. Be good for Mrs. Crabtree. Have fun at school. Learn a lot. And I would walk out the front door. I would count to 5, count to 7, and then I would knock on the door. And my children would come running, open the door, and excited to see Mrs. Crabtree. Mrs. Crabtree, Mrs. Crabtree, you're here. It was such a delightful time. And at the end of the day, I did the opposite. Mrs. Crabtree said goodbye, and Mom came back through the front door. You might think it's crazy, and sometimes when I talk about it, it sounds crazy. But when I came back through that front door as their mom, I asked my children, hey, Bugs, how was school today? They told me. My children knew I was the exact same person. But it was such a delightful way to have another layer of conversation about what they were learning. They got to experience maybe what other children experience. And I know homeschooling is different for everyone. So take it or leave it. But I think you might just delight in having a homeschool teacher name. If you have hung out with me at all, you know that I place a lot of value in the school at home method. You're not going to hear me tell you that there's one method that's better than another. It's important that we take school uh, seriously. That's going to come off a little wrong. And I don't mean to offend anyone, especially if you have a more flowing schedule or you lean toward unschooling. I'm definitely not criticizing that. I'm saying that for us, for my family, what worked was balancing school at home with homeschooling, and so many things work. I just don't want you to feel persecuted if you use things that look like school and then you're self-sabotaging. Your brain is talking to yourself saying, well, that's the wrong way to homeschool, because it isn't. So as part of your back to school season, why not look at some of the things that a school does and see if you can incorporate those in your homeschool. We used to walk to school, out the front door, around the block, back in. It kind of got them in the mental mindset of, okay, we're done with our morning, like the playing kids do in the morning when they wake up, or if I let them watch cartoons or something. We got our backpacks, took a walk to school. Pack a lunch. So the night before, work together with your children, make their favorite lunches, put them in a brown bag or a special lunch container, put them in the fridge, and then the next day, lunch is ready and they can eat, in your pretend cafeteria. I get a lot of interesting comments about this one, but I stand by my philosophy. I would set a timer to ring like a bell. It's so easy to get lost in whatever our favorite activities are and genuinely not want to move on to the next. So our bell would ring when it was time for our activity to be up. And there were times I checked in with the kids like, hey, do you need more time? Are you ready? Or I was sending them out to recess. And then at the end of recess, the bell would ring. So there's definitely different ways to do that. You could also write on a chalkboard or a whiteboard. The first day of school, when I was a classroom teacher, I always had the kids draw a self-portrait. So it's no surprise when I'm going to tell you we did that in our homeschool as well. Draw a self-portrait, complete an about me page. And if you want, go so far as to have your kids raise their hands. They're going to learn to take turns and not talk over one another. If you have a children who's particularly vocal and maybe a bit more dominant, they're going to assert themselves because that's part of their personality. And if you have a child who's more laid back and quiet, they're going to wait for the others to provide those answers. So raising hands helps you give each child a turn. Take these ideas or leave these ideas, but there's no wrong way to homeschool. Whatever you choose to do, when the time to start back into your regular homeschool routine comes, you be you. Start on your schedule. No one gets to tell you which day is the first day of school. If you have been doing things differently over the summer, maybe not as academic, more play-based, you're going to need some time to ease back into the routine. Maybe you've been letting the kids sleep in and now you want them to get up early. Give time and grace for those adjustments. And always, 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 if something's working, keep it. And if it's not, toss it. If you want to learn more, I encourage you to check out my blog post, Activities for the First Day of School. I have even more fun things for you to choose from. I'm not the only one with great ideas. You've got them too. So please leave a comment, share with the community what your favorite back to school tradition is with your children. And I'll see you next time you buzz into the Happy Hive. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today, Homeschool Mama. If this video helped you breathe a little easier, gain a little more clarity, or feel a little less alone, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel and buzz back around for more videos. Happy Hive Homeschooling is here to help you see that a successful homeschool is not built from perfect days. It's built from small sparks, steady rhythms, and a mom who's learning to trust what's already working. If you'd like homeschool encouragement in your inbox each day, be sure to sign up to get the buzz. I'll see you next time, Homeschool Mama.